Alright guys, welcome back to another Dice Throne character. This is the Paladin. So the Paladin is another level 5, so on the same level of complexity as the Shadow Thief. And yeah, so the Paladin has a lot of interesting dice rolls. Number one, he does not have a multimodal dice roll, which means you actually have to get a combination through one of the many combinations he possesses, but he does do something interesting in that he does condense the small and large trait into one attack box, meaning that you can either get a small or large trait and you can activate Holy Attack. It just means that one trait does, you heal 1, deal 6, and the large you heal 2 and deal 8. So it does condense them into one box, which is very interesting. Alright, so getting into the Paladin, first thing you have to realize is that he does have a passive. He's one of the few heroes that does have a passive in this game, and this basically means you can re-roll any one of your dice at any time for 1 CP. So spend 1 CP and you can re-roll a dice, basically giving you free re-rolls. You can also draw a card at any time for 3 CP. So let's say you have 7 CP, you can spend 3 CP to draw a card through spending those 3 CP, and then you can re-roll up to 4 of your dice per time with a CP. So very useful to gain CP and discard and sell cards you don't want. Alright, so when it comes to his symbols over here, it is similar. It is the same type of deal as the Shadow Thief. Roll a 1 or 2, you get the sword, and at 3 or 4, you get the helmet. 5 is heart for life, and 6 is the mighty prayer. So this basically means that in order to get retaliate, you have to roll 3 3s, 3 4s, and a 6. Righteous Combat, you roll 3 swords, 2 helmets. Mighty Prayer, 3 swords, 1 6. This one's the easiest. I think the small straight is actually the easiest thing to get on this board besides Never Retaliate, but that's just up to me. And then the large straight as well. Holy Light, you roll 5s, and then you deal damage as you go. And Righteous Prayer, of course, is 4 6s. Define Defense, anytime you're attacked, you roll 3 dice, and if you get a sword, you deal 1 damage. You prevent 1 damage per 3s or 4s you roll, and prevent 2 per 5s that you roll. So it's a very overpowered defense, and you gain 1 CP per 6 that you roll, so up to 3 CP for this attack. And then of course we'll talk about the different effects. So let's say you roll Retaliate. So you give yourself Retribution. You can also give one of your teammates Retribution if you want to, and you gain 3 CP. So Retaliate does no damage whatsoever, but it gives you Retribution. What does Retribution mean? This means if you spend this token, you can, when attacked, you deal half that damages attacked as damage. So basically, let's say an attacker attacks you for 8 damage. Means that they deal 8 damage to you, but you deal 4 damage back to them. So basically, you deal half that damage back on the attacker. So basically, you take 4, they take 4. So if they take 8, you take 4, they take 4. So you both take 4 instead of you just taking all 8. So yeah, Retaliate is pretty good because it gives you Retribution, which is a high mark you token. Then we have Righteous Combat, which means you deal 5 and roll 2 dice. Let's just roll 2 dice to see what we would get here. Alright, we rolled a heart and a helmet. So you add 1 damage per helmet, so that's 6, and now we deal 6 damage, and on a heart we heal 2. And if you roll 6s, you gain CP, and of course you can use for your passive. And of course if you roll daggers, you add 2 damage per dagger instead of just 1 damage per helmet. So Righteous Combat is an RNG ability on its own. Mighty Prayer is a simple one. Roll 3 swords and 1 6. You deal 3 undefendable damage, so your opponent doesn't get to activate their defense. And then you gain 2 new tokens, Crit and Accuracy. So let's say you activate Holy Attack. You heal 1 and deal 6. You would spend Accuracy to make your attack undefendable, meaning that this is now undefendable 6 damage. So now it's similar to Mighty Prayer, except it's 6 undefendable damage. That's what Accuracy does. It makes your defense undefendable. But 6 undefendable is not good enough. You also spend Crit, which you spend this token to add 4 damage to your attack. So not only is it 6 undefendable damage, but now it is 10 undefendable damage with that Crit token. So very overpowered tokens for this character. Alright, Then next up, Righteous Prayer, deal 8, gain crit and 2 CP, so you're getting CP for your passive and a crit to add to an attack. Notice though, it says deal 8, then gain crit, so you can't put crit on this damage here. You deal the damage, then you gain the CP and token. So you can't use crit on this 8 damage, it has to be the next attack. But let's say you roll 4 hearts. When we get to Holy Light, you roll 4 hearts. So you heal 1 damage for the heart. So you roll 4 hearts, you heal 4, and then you roll 2. On a dagger, you gain crit, so +4 for your next attack. On helmet, you gain protect. On 5, you draw a card, and on 6, you gain 2 CP. So protect is another token. This character has 5 tokens, the max tokens you can have. So very overpowered character so far. So let's look here. So protect means you spend this to protect yourself from incoming fire. So it's basically lesser retribution. You don't deal any damage back, but if your opponent is doing 12 damage to you, you spend protect and you only take 6 damage and block the other half. So it's a very useful token when getting hit by stuff like undefendable damage, like 10 undefendable damage. Protect will still work. The only thing it won't work against is obviously ultimate damage, which gets us on to Resolute Faith. So you roll 5 6s. You get Blessing of the Divinity, Paladin's most famous token. You heal 5 and then deal 10 ultimate damage. So what does Blessing of Divinity do? Well, that means it prevents you from being defeated. Now this doesn't mean you win automatically, but it says the next time a player with this token would have their health reduced to 0, remove this token and set it to 1. This token may not be removed or transferred by any means, so not only can someone not take this from you, they also can't remove it from you, you can't remove it, and if you are set, let's say someone attacks you, you are at 5 HP and someone attacks you with 10 damage. So that would kill you, but no, you just remove this token and set your damage back to 1. In D&D terms, you're unable to take lethal damage. You just instead of reducing your HP to 0, you spend this token and then it is upped to 1, so you still have another turn after this. So very, very powerful token. Basically grants you an extra life. So yeah, that is the Paladin. Kind of similar to the Shadow Thief, it has a mechanic of using CP, and most of your abilities give you CP. Retaliate, Righteous Combat, Righteous Prayer, your ultimate, Holy Light, and your defense. So almost all of your attacks give you CP, free to use to reroll dice and draw cards to your pleasure. And you can gain a bunch of these tokens, which are all basically defensive and offensive tokens. Retribution and Protect and Blessing are defensive tokens, crit and accuracy empower your attacks. And of course, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe down below if you're new to the channel. And of course, I'll see you guys with the next hero. Toodaloo!